On the estimates for revenues, I would say that excise duty, as you know, is something which is specific, and I've explained it earlier as well. So that would go down because it goes down by almost 10,000 crores or thereabouts per month as compared to what we were getting before the prices. The excise duty was brought down by 10 rupees and 5 rupees on diesel and petrol respectively. So that is going to have an impact. And if you take away that impact, the increase in revenue that we're expecting next year from the RE of this year is 14%.
Yeah.
I should also add one thing to you that this year we are expecting a good bonanza from the capital gains tax, because there's been a lot of activity in the stock market, and I would say the figures might be about 8 or 10 times more than what we collected last year. And last year, the amount was approximately about 6,000 odd crores. So
Okay.
this year, if we collect 50,000 to 60,000 crores just in capital gains, and you tracking the markets for so many years would know that this can change. And with the Fed going to increase its rates as is coming out, so you might have some flight of capital and then its effect on the stock market. So we really don't know how much of money will we get from the capital markets through the capital gains tax. So that is also one of the reasons I can't expect that the growth on that will also be the same. It is quite possible that the growth may be the same, but it may not be the same. So having kept that at 14% and the GDP, which has been mentioned as 8.5 by our economist in the ministry, some of, including the RBI, for the next year have made it close to, it is less than 8%, while others, the international agencies, I think IMF has said 9%. So if it varies between 8 to 9%, and the deflator is likely to be lower, because the deflator this time is very high, as you would know, that in spite of 9.2, we are going to have 17.6. So if the deflator is low, I would still have a buoyancy of about 1.2 or thereabout in the next year. And if you look at my previous record, I have not achieved that kind of a buoyancy in many of the years. So if the revenue department has batted well in one particular year, I think we need to be very careful in saying that we'll bat equally well. I don't think the revenue buoyancy will be the same as it is in the current year. The current year is very different. It was on a low base. This time it is a high base also. So we have kept that. If we go up a little, I'll be very happy. And the last thing that I want to say there is that the expenditure also comes to us as a surprise during the year. If we achieve 50, 60,000 crores more on revenues, I think the expenditure will have that much of flexibility.
Of course, and you know, I think that has been well explained, sir, by your team and by the finance minister herself through the course of the week. So I won't dwell on that a little bit. Your excise is pegged to a fuel price. Are you working with an average expected for the next year?
The economic survey says that the fuel price should be about 70, crude price should be about $70 to $75 per barrel.
Okay.
So let us see, when we decrease the price, I think the price of the crude was about 80, 84. Right now it is about 88, 90. So let us see how does it behave. The crude we'll get to know once the geopolitical, the Ukraine, Russia, those issues become more clear. So we'll get to know where does it stand. So I think if we don't have any surprises on the prices going up, we should be home with the present estimates that we have on excise duty.
Okay, so these excise duty estimates are based on about roughly an average $70 price of crude through the course of next year, right?
What we would be required to do is to tinker with our excise duty. So what I would say is my estimates are based on the current excise duty, which is obviously based on a reasonable price of crude. If the crude prices really shoots up, then maybe government will take a policy. And if the prices go down, we are happy.